Hey, welcome to Career Coaching with Tiffani, the Office Informant podcast. Here we focus on helping you navigate what's next in your career. Whether you're looking to prepare for a promotion, re-enter the workforce, or completely overhaul your career, this is the place to hear tips, tools, stories, and experiences to help you feel more confident in moving forward. I'm Tiffani, your host and guide. Hey friends, welcome to another episode of Career Coaching with me, Tiffani, the Office Informant. Today, we are going to talk about something that's so very important to a career transition, and that is embracing change, how to build a growth mindset for your career transition. So we've all heard the saying, change is the only constant, right? So that is especially true when we're thinking about making a career change. Now, in this episode, when I talk about career change, I'm talking about changing jobs, industries, getting promoted, re-entering the workforce, or completely overhauling your career. The world of work is continuously evolving, and we have to evolve too. So embracing change, especially in a career transition, can be quite a scary task. And so that's when building a growth mindset comes in. Before you update your resume, get ready for interviews, think about where you're going, your mind has to be in the right place to navigate an effective and successful career change plan. Yes, you heard it right. I used the ever so popular buzzword, growth mindset. You are hearing this word used in kindergarten classrooms and also in boardrooms. So what is growth mindset? It is our belief that our skills, our abilities, our intelligence can be developed through dedication, hard work, and a love and hunger for learning. It's all about understanding the challenges and the failures that we're going to face no matter what, and taking advantage of those as opportunities to learn and grow and not seeing them as obstacles or roadblocks. I talk to so many clients where we have to work on mindset before we can have a conversation about a resume or an interview or a job application. Some of the things that hinder them from moving forward is, I have to go back to school. I'm too old. I'll have to start over. Is this job going to pay me enough? I'm a single mother. Whatever it is, it's not an excuse. It's a realistic fear of making a career change. But every single one of those obstacles can be overcome with a pivot strategy, a pivot plan. And today we're going to start by talking about the mindset it takes to engage in a career shift. So a person who is ready to tackle a career change is a person with a growth mindset. And that means not being deterred by obstacles, and they're excited about them. They're excited about the growth opportunities. Why? Because they see them as a chance to learn something new, to stretch themselves and become even bigger, better, and badder. Let me tell you about a client that I am currently working with, and I've been working with for a couple of years now. She is a manager within a nonprofit organization that provides healthcare to seniors. She has worked with the senior population for many, many years and recently obtained a management position, has never managed people before, but really good at what she does, at meeting seniors where they are, assessing what their needs are, meeting their expectations. I mean, she is fantastic at what she does. Like, our elders love her. And so she's in this role, she's in a management position, and she has a growth mindset. She's thinking, okay, I have to read all the books, I have to learn all of the things. And in every conversation that we have, all I see is growth, and more growth. every stumbling block, from managing people to managing conflict to not hitting numbers, she is growing from each of those things. And just today, this morning, I had a conversation with her, and she said the important lesson I learned in X negative situation is that I have to start giving feedback to people as soon as I see a problem, or I have to stamp out conflict as soon as I see it arising. Like, I have to be more proactive in my management of people. And so just over a year ago, she hadn't managed a soul in all of her career. And now she is becoming an effective manager, making mistakes, but building lasting bridges and lasting relationships along the way. And one other thing that she shared with me is that my manager, her manager, is so patient with me. Every conversation he has with me, he's seeing that I'm taking in the information and implementing it in my own style and learning lots of lessons along the way. And that is exactly what you are looking for with a growth mindset. So you might be asking, how can I develop a growth mindset for my career transition? First, you want to embrace challenges. You don't want to see challenges or obstacles as this big, scary thing. Just know they're going to come. Like, challenges are going to be there, whether you sit and do nothing or you get up and move forward. And then you recognize that the challenges aren't barriers, but they're pathways and opportunities to learning and developing and improving your professional self. And so here's a tip. To embrace challenges, start viewing them as chances to learn rather than obstacles. This shift in mindset can turn a daunting, big, scary, hairy thing into an exciting one. Before we move on, I want to use a realistic example, and that's an example of public speaking. So many people dread getting in front of groups large and small and speaking. But it's a vital skill needed in most careers. Whether you're speaking in front of a client, a group of clients, in a team meeting, you have to be able to speak publicly in many careers. So instead of avoiding it, you could see it as a challenge to overcome. So you could take public speaking courses, joining a Toastmaster, or just practicing it and embracing it along your career path and turning it into, again, an opportunity for growth. Do you have an interview coming up and the very thought of interviewing makes you want to run and hide? Well, guess what? I love interviewing. Weird, right? Well, I want to share tips and tools I've used personally and coach clients on for many years. You can download the pre-interview guide today. The best part, it's free. Inside of this free resource, I share steps you should take before the interview, insight into what hiring managers are looking for, and a list of common interview questions. You can get your copy at theofficeinformant.com/pre-interview guide. You can also find the link in the show notes. A second and really important part of having a growth mindset is persisting in the face of setbacks. So remember, failure is not a reflection of who you are or your abilities. It is just simply a part of life. Believe me, I have experienced many failures in life, in my career, in motherhood, in business. And I see those as stepping stones to success. It's about getting up one more time, then you fall. I'm going to say that again for the folks in the back. Failure is about getting up one more time, then you fall. So when you face a setback, instead of focusing on the failure, focus on the lesson that you learned. Ask yourself, what went wrong? What can I do differently next time? How can I improve? Is there a learning gap that I can fill? How can I get up the next time and do this more effectively? Listen, I just shared with you that failure has been such a big and integral part of my life. So get ready because I'm about to get real vulnerable here. I got laid off in January, late January, early February of 2020. So even before COVID was a thing, I got laid off from my job. And so I immediately, of course, it was unexpected. I went into job search mode. That's when I started the Office Informant because I was like, I'm going to write down every step of my process so that I can teach other people how to do this. And I did just that. But what I can tell you that wasn't so glamorous is that I applied to, let's say, 11 jobs. And of course, out of those 11, I got no's. There's one particular job that I was a final candidate for. I just knew I had this job. I practiced for my interview. I had done the research. I executed it well. Like I was just so hungry for this job. The organization, the title, the pay, everything was in alignment with what I thought I wanted in the moment. And so I was completely heartbroken when I did not get that job. However, through that failure, through that lack of success in that job search for that specific job, I added on a part of my job search process that I don't think I would have been able to teach my clients today. And that is, what do you do when you don't get the job? And so that was the first time in my career that I really cared about a job so much that even after not getting the job, I cared enough to still fight for what I had to offer. And so from that failure, I developed the what to do if you don't get the job strategy. And to this day, I am still connected with the recruiters and the decision makers in that organization on LinkedIn, on social media, and every once in a while, that recruiter reaches out to me just to check in and see how I'm doing and to see if I'm interested in an opportunity here and there. That ship has sailed, not interested in working for that organization at this time, but without that failure, I would not have been able to write a significant part of my coaching process that my clients find so much value in. So like me, maybe you applied for a job that you really wanted and didn't get. Instead of seeing it as a failure, see it as a learning experience. Go through your application, your interview, your resume. Did you fully showcase your skills and your experiences? Was there a question that you really struggled with? Use these insights to improve your next application or interview. Again, when you face a setback, instead of focusing on the failure, focus on the lesson that you can learn. The third tip I want to share today in creating a growth mindset for your career change is understanding that effort, action, work is the path to mastery. The more effort you put in, the more skilled, the better you will become. There is no such thing as overnight success. Let me say that again because social media will have you thinking differently. There is no such thing as overnight success. And the first thing that comes to my mind is all the Instagram influencers and people who are like, I made $1 million in the launch of my business in the first year, or how to get 4,000 followers in 1 month. And honestly, that's just not realistic. Life doesn't work that way. So developing a growth mindset, it will help if you know that the more effort and work you put in is your pathway to mastery. You're not going to wake up and be an expert. Every expert has been a beginner once. So consistency and dedication are keys to mastering that skill, whatever it is. So let's say you want to learn a new language. At first, it's a struggle to remember the basic words, your colors, your numbers, your verbs. But with regular study, practice speaking the language, you become fluent. That same principle applies to any skill you want to master in your career. Consistent effort, consistent work, you'll see progress over time. The final thing I want to leave you with when it comes to shifting to a growth mindset is learn from constructive feedback, constructive criticism. Feedback is a gift. Some gifts you like, some gifts you don't. But feedback, even when it's tough to hear, is valuable, a valuable source of information about areas where feedback is one of the number one things I will attribute to any career success I've had. Don't get me wrong, just like any other human, it's difficult and sometimes you just don't want to hear it. However, I've had some fantastic people in my life that has given me some really tough feedback that has helped me to become the career professional that I am today. And so I think about one in specific. We worked together at a nonprofit organization, and it was a growing organization to the point where we were growing out of our office space. And so myself and this other colleague and I shared offices. And so I'd be on phone calls handling employee relations issues. I'd be coaching employees on managing up. I'd be having recruiting conversations or coaching my direct employees. And this person, who was a seasoned professional, had many years of experience on me. She had a front row seat to all of my successes and my failures. And let me tell you, I didn't have to ask for it. She gave it to me even when I don't want to hear it. And spending 2 whole years in the office with her was one of the best things that could have ever happened for my career. So again, it's not about you as a person. It's about your actions, your work, and improving upon those. So when receiving that feedback, try to detach your emotions and focus on the content that person is trying to pass along to you. So here's an example. Let's say your boss or colleague criticizes a report that you turn in. They say it lacks depth or they really don't understand what you're communicating in the report. Instead of taking it personally, consider it as constructive criticism on your work, not on you as a person. Ask for clarification. Ask for examples to how to make it better. Ask for what their expectations were and what you can do differently next time. Ask what's missing and how you can improve. This way, you transform that feedback into a tool or a vehicle for your improvement and growth. There you have it, folks. A growth mindset is foundational for a career pivot. So ensuring that you understand change is constant, it's going to happen. Having a growth mindset, you're not set back by obstacles. You're excited by them because they're an opportunity to learn and grow. You are embracing challenges if you have a growth mindset. You're seeing setbacks as opportunities to reflect on what you can do differently and better. You're getting up one more time than you fall. You understand that work and effort is your path, the only path to mastery. And finally, you're learning from feedback, understanding that feedback is a gift and you're growing from it. I hope this helps you. I hope you're able to shift something, even something small, in your mindset as you pursue your career transition.